Comes to the closing disclosure, the changes that the realtor needs to be mindful of and get used to quickly. This is what they're going to experience that's different. If you look at today, the way, in a nutshell, the way it goes is when we're ready to close, we provide closing instructions to the settlement agent, which include our estimate of our final fees. We give them to the settlement agent. They work up all of the fees, including ours, theirs, everybody else's. Okay? And they draw up a HUD-1. They go back and forth with us until everyone's happy. Once everyone approves, the settlement agent then provides that HUD-1 to the borrower. Sometimes the day before, sometimes at settlement, depending on how they work well together. Now the roles are going to be reversed. Same thing's happening though. Same thing's happening, just reversed. So the closing agent or settlement agent, title agent, escrow agent, whatever you want to call it, they're going to give us closing instructions. It'll have their estimate of final figures and anything that they're responsible for or know of, third parties. They'll provide us with those instructions. We'll draw up the closing disclosure, share it with them to make sure they approve, we approve, much like the HUD-1 today. The lender then provides that closing disclosure to the borrower. So instead of the settlement agent providing the HUD-1, we are providing the closing disclosure, role reversal. The big difference there really is the timing. We need to provide the closing disclosure within 3 business days prior to closing. Now that's a big difference. Right now the HUD-1 rule is we should be able to provide the HUD-1 at least 1 day prior for the borrower to review. But we don't have to provide it until closing. We can provide it at closing. And so many times things are so crunched with time that the borrower receives their HUD-1 as they walk and sit down at the table. And this causes a lot of anxiety for borrowers. They don't know what they're walking into. They know what they've been told they're walking into. And prior to 2010, we've all heard nightmare stories. Borrowers told they need $3 grand at closing. They show up with $3 grand, they need $8 grand. And now that the moving truck's parked outside and everyone's waiting on you to sign, are you going to cancel and have no house, or are you just going to bite the bullet? Unfortunately, those are the stories that happened. Now the CFPB has put some rules into effect in 2010 that stopped a lot of that, but those were prototypes that bring us to now. And now is being able to provide the borrower the closing disclosure 3 business days. So now all the anxiety, any miscommunication, any misunderstandings, any fee finalization, all happens 3 business days prior to closing. The person that sleeps best the day before closing now is the borrower. Their experience for closing is actually going to be joyous, which it should be. They're actually showing up to sign their name and receive keys. That should be a great occasion. The anxiety leading up to, oh, I hope this goes right so I get my house. I hope everything happens okay with the loan so I get my house. I hope nothing goes crazy with the lender that I hope I get my... None of that happens now. That's all been taken care of. The lender and the borrower have finalized the loan 3 business days prior to settlement. So now when the borrower goes to closing, much better experience. They're coming with a smile on their face, with a pen in their hand, check in the back pocket, and they're ready to receive keys.